Hey, hey, hey! Dr. Avalos here. I am your professor of our very first trauma, crisis, and grief counseling class ever being offered at UTPB. That's exciting, okay? So I had to spend a little bit longer putting your syllabus together, but I'm really, really hopeful that our time together will be good. As you know, this is a hybrid class. What that means is, as far as in this world, is the majority of your work will be done online. But there are 3 times in the semester where we will meet as a class. And we do that because I need to be able to assess your skills, assess your understanding in person, and I really can't do some of those kinds of things online, right? And then also to do some of the sort of activities and case conceptualization, role plays, etc., that we wouldn't normally be able to do online at this particular point. Plus, I got to see you, okay? Those classes, the schedule actually says 5 to 10, but we're going to be meeting from 6 to 10. Even if we don't stay that whole time, I need the chunk of time because I won't be meeting with you every week. So we'll have to cover a lot of material in those 3 meetings, but it'll be fun. So what I'd like to do is do just like I would if I were seeing you face to face, is to go over to the syllabus and the course, what to expect. Please, please, please read the syllabus. Please read the syllabus. As I've said in my other classes, some of you probably heard this already, that I don't put everything in the syllabus online. It's a matter of space, and it's a matter of making sure that, my goodness, where you're going to read all of this 20 times. So I'm asking you, read the syllabus, make sure you understand the assignments, what's expected, the goal in you having them, as well as the dates assignments are completed, and even more so, I know y'all skip over this part because I do too, the policies after the descriptions of each assignment. So make sure you go through those so that you understand what my late policy is, you understand the policy as far as confidentiality, computer requirements. I do not take a broken computer, internet outage as an excuse for you not to get your information in. I'm so mean, right? No, what I'm actually asking you to do is to set up a plan for yourself that should your computer not work at home, you have somewhere to go to. Now that might mean, like for me, if my computer breaks, because her name is Sally and she's just about to die, is if I'm using Sally, I know when the library in Midland is open and closed. And I know that I'm going to have to figure out some time there if something were to happen. I also know, worst comes to worst, I can drive over here in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock in the morning to come do what I need to get done. But that's my plan when something happens. But I also can't wait till the very last minute, because should something happen, I may not have access to the library or this place, which shuts everything off and down at a particular time right in the middle of the night. And I know because I was here, okay, when they did that. So let's go over. You'll see on the syllabus, it talks about me, you know me. You have my contact information. If you want to get in touch with me, even though I have my office phone in there, it's the summer. These are online classes. I try really hard not to be on campus as often, just because. And since it's an online class, my office hours are virtual, which means I will be sitting here anxiously, waiting for emails to come in that I can answer. We can Skype if you'd like to do that. And of course, for those of y'all who are near and want me to face-to-face, all you have to do is ask. Send me an email, and I'll meet you up here at the school, except in the middle of the night, all right? So you see my office hours, the course description, we're talking about kids or trauma. And what do you do? Where do you fit in when it comes to developing a trauma, crisis, or grief policy? There's a lot of policies out there. There's no need to recreate them, but it'll be interesting for us to look at a lot of them. Who are the people who work in critical care? What are the burnout rates? What can you expect? What are the ethical concerns that you need to be careful about as a counselor in regards to what will you want to do because you're a helper and you're a kind person, and what you should do in regards to ethics and stepping back when it's actually not your responsibility? Because I'm telling you, I would have like 2,700 kids in my house by now if I was doing exactly what I wanted to do, and you can't. It doesn't work that way. So instructional methods, as you know, this is an online class. As my other online classes, all assignments are due on Sundays before or on or before 11:59. So make sure that you give yourself time if there's some trouble along the way, just in case it's uploading, and you have to know this. every single online class, the majority of them, especially in the College of Education, and that's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, because we have the most students than any other college, are also loading their assignments at 11:59. So make sure you're giving yourself some time should it spin and spin and spin and spin, because there's so many students. Whatever it's logged as, that's what I take. So make sure you look at those policies. Make sure that you also know that we use PCs, Microsoft software. For those of y'all who have Apples at home, I believe that you can convert it to a doc or a PDF. I may have to download it to grade it, but you can still do it. We can figure it out. And if you don't want to worry about whether or not I can open it, if you have a PC at work, at your mom's house, at the library, at I don't know where else would have it around here, you can borrow it from somebody else. Load your assignment that way if you just want to be for sure. I've given you your textbooks, the Crisis Assessment, Intervention, and Prevention. Oh my gosh, it's the little book, but it's pretty dense. It has so many wonderful things. It's fairly easy to understand, which is why I love Pearson books. As I continue to work through it, I'll provide more PowerPoints for you, some probably more of these videos, as they're a little bit easier to talk about the content as well as address whatever assignments you have coming. Look here at the mission requirements that you have to know in regards to the state. I give you information about support services that you could use on campus. And then, of course, on page, I believe that it's 5, yep, it usually is, are the assignments that you'll have. You have your student authentication. You have attendance and participation for the 3 classes you'll be in my class, right? That's what you're going to have. That's where my grade is. And it's more so, are you engaged in class? Because of the fact that in that class, it's going to be mainly activities. It's not going to be tests. It's not going to be writing assignments. I'm really going to ask you engage. And I really can only know if you know the information when you engage. And so I have some descriptions of what that might look like, and you know what I expect if you've taken a class with me before. The chapter questions, you'll have chapter questions every week. Remembering that I pick questions based on what it is that I need to measure, what the standards for state and nationally through KCREP, what are they asking you to know? What are the things that are going to be included on a national exam? And what are those things that are critical for you to have a baseline understanding of as you go into a counseling or clinical counseling career? So those are where those chapter questions actually come from. I try my hard to keep the number down. Sometimes though there will be some modules where there will be more than one. Tell me what you know, and I'll explain a little more probably in next week as I see how you respond to the chapter questions. Then what we have is the discussion forums. You will do this in a group. There's, I believe, 12 of y'all. So it'll be nice for y'all just to be able to talk to each other about what you think about the particular topics that I have listed. Make sure, please, that you post your initial posts early enough so that your classmates can respond to them. If you are responding to other people and your post is posted on Sunday at 11:30 p.m. and nobody has had an opportunity to respond to you, it will affect your grade. And that's how we have conversations. You need to be able to get in the mix a little bit earlier. And so then you have your reflection papers. This is another way for me to kind of figure out where you are. And again, if you have taken a class with me, you'll see that they are similar questions. I need to know, where are you? Where do you feel you are? Where do I need to add or feel confident that you do or do not have? Because of course, my first and most important job is to make sure that you have what you need out of this well, of course the program, but this course, so you can like at least have a baseline knowledge to support your clients when you get out of here. And what those questions are pretty much the same. I'm asking you, what are you learning about people? What are you learning about yourself? And what are you learning about counseling in this specific area? So you're going to have 3 of those that I can kind of check in on you. And of course, a presentation. I'm going to ask you, I've given you topics, but I'm going to ask you pick something in trauma, crisis, or grief counseling that either you know about and want to know about, that you know what it is. It something in the book that you kind of saw? Is it something you've been wondering, like, I can't wait to take this class? I'm asking you and ask you to do a presentation on it. And as I've explained in all my other classes, and some of y'all will hear this more than once, is the fact that as counselors, as school counselors, as LPC clinical counselors, and the majority of y'all will have both, You will be the people who are presenting at conferences, whether they are regional, local here through PBCA, Texas Association, Southern Association, or ACA. You will be the experts in the field who will need to share the information with your colleagues. It's one of the things that happens when you get into a master's program and then to a PhD program. It's part of in the ethics that you need to share what you know with each other. And those conferences could get really exciting. And so why I make you do the presentation, I want to know that you can focus on a topic, gather valid, reliable information and research, and then create a presentation of which you can provide information to you or use at conferences or on your campus for that matter, to colleagues who are in the same field. So yeah, your presentations won't have as much depth as you would if I was having you do a research paper, but I want to give you the opportunity to do something that's real, that you can take it and say, I have the experience. I know that I can't put paragraphs in a PowerPoint, but more just points that I want to remind myself to be able to cover, and also a handout that I can give to my audience and that they could take back and have a basic understanding of. So that's sort of like, again, taking everything you know and making it real, applying it to the work that you will be doing after you finish in these programs, or probably are doing for that matter right now as teachers. So make sure you look at the policies. That's the next several pages of policies. You'll see that I have a list of the important dates so that you know when you're going to withdraw, but nobody's going to withdraw. When our last class day is, when everything has to be due, and of course on page 10 is the schedule of what to expect. So what I'd like to talk about here is that, yes, all of our assignments are due on Sunday evening except for the very last one, and that's just because the semester ends the very next day. So I'll need those assignments in so I can grade them, and then I can submit your grades after we're done. Make sure that you are aware of this and how this translates to online. And also, I realize it's the summer, and some of the teachers or parents who have kids that are not in school will often say, I want to go on a vacation, we're going to go spend the weekend with my parents from wherever, we're going to go to the coast, or I'm going to go to a conference, I'm going to go to a workshop. A lot of times for teachers, they won't send you to workshops until it's the summer, because then they don't have to pay for a sub to go into the classroom. So if for some reason you are going to be gone, please plan ahead. All right, so look at the schedule. If you're going to be gone, my suggestion is to do your work ahead so you're not scrambling to get it up. You can move as quickly as you want to through the course, because I don't keep anything closed as far as the assignments, but I will ask you these two things. First, don't get so far ahead that at least for the first 2 weeks, so that I can grade your assignments and you can see where you need work. It can be so frustrating for you to put all your time in, get like two modules ahead, and then I grade, and then you're gonna pretty much have to go back and redo what you've done. For those of y'all who've taken online classes with me, you know what to expect, but for those who don't, slow down, wait a second, and make sure that you know exactly what you need to be doing on subsequent assignments. And then the second reason is, the only other reason that you won't be able to go too far ahead is with the discussions. Otherwise, take it at your pace, ask me questions. If you need feedback, I will put, along with a grader, we will put as much information on your assignments as we can to make sure that you know what to do next on the other assignments. I am so excited. This is going to be like major fun. You are the actual guinea pigs for this particular topic in class, but I know it's going to be wonderful. I look forward to working with you, and give me a holler if you have any questions, okay? Bye.